Hey gang, I want to welcome you here to Home Recording Made Easy on our YouTube channel. And this is a little bit of a different video today. This is kind of a story time video. I'm going to talk to you and tell you about some changes and some things that are coming up here at Home Recording Made Easy and some new exciting news, and kind of explain why I'm doing what I'm doing and what this whole thing is about. And this will be who knows how long of a video. I'm going to just tell you the story, tell you what's going on, telling you why I'm doing what I'm doing. And then either after this video or maybe in the next video, depending, you'll see a bunch of footage of the studio kind of transformation. So a lot of things been happening here over the last several months. One of the things that I have come to realize here at Home Recording Made Easy and homerecordingmadeeasy.com over the last, say, 6 or 8 months, a lot of you guys have been following me on YouTube and watching the videos. You've been checking out Home Recording Made Easy. You've seen that I started to get into hybrid mixing. You've seen me do live streams where I've unboxed hardware, Neve preamps and bus compressors and 500 series racks. You've also seen more recently a whole bunch of videos around West Audio gear, unboxing of some of that West Audio gear. Some of that is sitting behind me, as you can see. You've seen me do YouTube videos about the reviews of the hardware, the setup of how hybrid kind of works from a workflow standpoint. You've seen me compare hardware to plugins and all of that stuff. And you've even seen a video of this desk being set up where we actually tore down the whole studio, hooked all this stuff up with this new custom rack that I had built and all of that stuff with this new sit-stand desk. And what I come to find out as I've been trying to expand the Home Recording Made Easy brands from more of a beginner, less than a year, less than 2 years worth of experience, and trying to bring some more intermediate, advanced hybrid mixing and those kinds of things, I've started to realize that the Home Recording Made Easy audience, for the most part, is really not interested in any of that stuff. All the videos that I've done around hybrid mixing hardware versus plugins, for the most part, generally don't get any traffic, don't get any views. When I've started to introduce even the more intermediate and advanced courses at Home Recording Made Easy, again, only a very small percentage. Over the last, say, 6 or 8 months, I've done lots of analyzing of analytics on YouTube. I've done a lot of customer or student surveys. Some of you watching this may have gotten those surveys where I've asked a host of questions to kind of take a pulse of where is the Home Recording Made Easy audience? What kind of audience are they? And most importantly, what kind of content appeals to most of you to keep you interested and to keep you training and to keep you coming back and checking out my content? And what I realized is you guys are really not interested, for the most part, in the hybrid stuff, in the hardware stuff, in the more intermediate advanced stuff. You guys are more interested in the basic mixing tips, the stuff that really helps someone who is new or fairly new, or someone just getting back into recording in the home studio environment. And I've been trying to force feed, if you will, not really on purpose, but trying to bring more stuff in, and I'm realizing you guys are really not interested in that stuff. So one of the things that I've been also, on a personal note, that I've been wanting to do here for a while, because Home Recording Made Easy is in its 6th year now, is to expand this to more than just beginner stuff. I love all my new students. I love all the beginners. We're going to continue to train and focus on that stuff because that's what you guys want. But for me as an engineer, and for me as an instructor and an educator, I want to be able to branch out and get into some more advanced, more hybrid stuff, more analog workflow kinds of things, and start to appeal to some other folks as well. But those people are not really part of the Home Recording Made Easy ecosystem for the most part. So what's going on here at homerecordingmadeeasy.com? Well, homerecordingmadeeasy.com is going to stay here. It's not going anywhere. We're going to continue, or I'm going to continue to provide content for you guys. I'm going to continue to enhance and bring the training courses at homerecordingmadeeasy.com to a higher level, like I've been doing over the last 1.5 years, and refreshing all the courses and making that the best training possible for that specific audience. But in order to cater to another audience, to a different audience, for people who are graduating, if you will, from Home Recording Made Easy, I've decided to start a second YouTube channel. And that second YouTube channel is going to be called Mixing Music Analog. And the accompanying website to that will be mixingmusicanalog.com. And what that's going to do is that's going to be a place where I'm going to provide training and content around hybrid mixing and analog mixing in particular on the YouTube channel. On the website itself is really going to be a place for me to promote and to advertise and build my mixing services up that I do for clients. I do that currently at Home Recording Made Easy, but it's kind of in the background. You guys really don't see it. I do get a lot of mixing clients through Home Recording Made Easy, but it's not a well-known thing that I really talk about, because HomeRecordingMadeEasy.com is really first and foremost an education website for people who need help with their home studios. And then my services are kind of an afterthought. Well, MixingMusicAnalog.com, my mixing services are going to be featured the first and foremost to work with clients, and then also over time possibly developing some more higher level training courses for people who are interested in that kind of content and people who are ready for that kind of content. And I'm not going to try to jam it into the Home Recording Made Easy ecosystem. So I found by all the student surveys I've taken, all the analytics and all the data that I've looked at, and just looking at simple YouTube video views, I hear you guys loud and clear. You guys are really not interested in going too far down that rabbit hole, because that's not where you guys are at, and that's not why you come to Home Recording Made Easy. And if you're one of those people who have recently has been watching the channel and seeing some of that stuff, and maybe has been a little put off by it because it's not really what Home Recording Made Easy was started on and not really what it's been all about for the last 4 years, I hear you. I respect that loud and clear, and I want to make sure that HomeRecordingMadeEasy.com stays providing the kind of content that you guys really, really want. And then this second brand and second website will be for folks that want to move from Home Recording Made Easy stuff and may want to move on to that stuff as well and take some of that stuff, and or just attract people who are not really interested in just beginner intermediate stuff, but want to start off at the more advanced level. So that's kind of what's going on with the internets and the YouTube channel. So this video, I'm not even really sure, to be honest with you, whether I'm going to post this on YouTube or not. This video is really the first video of kind of what I think is going to become like a mini documentary. Right now you see me sitting in front of the workstation that I put together that you saw on YouTube several months ago, and a lot of that is going to be changing, and I'm going to explain in a minute what's kind of going to go on here. And I want to make sure before things start to physically change that I actually document this process. And I'm not sure, again, whether you guys will even ever see this video. If you do, by the time you see this video, all the changes will have been made. All the new websites and YouTube channels will be up and functioning, and there will be links in the description box that if you're interested in that kind of stuff, you can head on over to that YouTube channel and subscribe. You can head on over to the website and just check out what's going on over there. Okay, so that's what's going on. So before I tell you about some of the physical changes that are going to happen, I want to make sure that I'm really clear that Home Recording Made Easy, the YouTube channel, and HomeRecordingMadeEasy.com are not going anywhere. I'm not going to stop providing content. I'm not going to change it. It's going to be exactly the way it is today, but again, kind of refocused on, again, what it was really built upon, which was new people coming in the door, people who have limited experience, people who are maybe at that intermediate level that really need help with the foundational stuff, and keeping that focused on that kind of stuff and not going too far down the road. But it's not going anywhere. There's still going to be a minimum of 1 video a week. Still going to provide the podcast that I have at HomeRecordingMadeEasy.com, and also the podcast episodes actually get posted on YouTube weekly as well. And that's going to continue to happen. Right now, as I sit here, I think there's 45 or 46 episodes already posted. We'll continue to do that. The Home Recording Made Easy Facebook page is still gonna be there, and you're gonna see all the short little video clips that I put up trying to give you guys tips and tricks and concepts and techniques and helpful information to help you in your home studio. All of that stuff is gonna stay exactly the same, but probably a more laser focus to continue to give you guys the content that you want. So I wanna make sure you understand that that is not leaving and that is not going anywhere. I'm very proud of the HomeRecordingMadeEasy.com brand. I want to thank all of you for making Home Recording Made Easy what it is, because without you, there is no Home Recording Made Easy. And I want to especially thank all of you who have come to HomeRecordingMadeEasy.com over the last 5 or 6 years, have purchased all my training courses, and then a lot of you even purchased the more recent upgrade courses to try to help yourself and to help support me. And I really appreciate that. I can't thank you guys enough. Without you, there is no Home Recording Made Easy. And without you, I could not do what I'm about to tell you is going to happen here. Okay, so let's put that to bed. Home Recording Made Easy is here to stay, and I love you guys and I appreciate you guys. But for the folks that want a little more, for the people who are maybe graduating from the beginner intermediate stuff, and they say, and I've gotten these kinds of emails, believe me, you know, I'm kind of ready to graduate, Dave. I've kind of learned everything I can learn from you at this stage. What else do you have to offer? And even though I do have a couple of intermediate mixing courses on my website at HomeRecordingMadeEasy.com, and even our master mixing class at HomeRecordingMadeEasy.com, all of that stuff is done in the box, in the DAW. And honestly, those courses are probably the least popular courses that I sell. The most popular courses that I sell at Home Recording Made Easy are all the beginner stuff. Hence, which is one of the reasons why we're making some changes here. And so, but folks that want to move on, that want to get into the stuff, that are, you know, studio geeks and love the gear and love the hardware, here's what's going to be happening. So 2 days ago, as of the recording of this video, this is, I think this is June 16th, 2021. But this week, a couple of days back, today is Thursday, Monday of this week, I have officially purchased a brand new SSL mixing console called the SSL Origin. There may be an image that pops up on the screen here, I don't know. And I purchased it from Sweetwater. I've decided that not only am I going to have the Home Recording Made Easy stuff, and this workstation that you see is all going to pretty much stay intact. It's just going to physically move to another part of the studio, and I'll show you some video of that in a little bit. But a real SSL console, analog mixing console, is coming in with outboard gear, and I'm going to have a channel that is really for mixing music, analog.com, and the YouTube channel. It's really mixing music hybrid, because it's still going to be connected to a computer, to a DAW, but 80% of it is going to be bringing audio out of the box, out of the DAW, across a 32 channel analog inline mixing console, and then using all analog EQ for the most part, mostly analog compression, and then printing it back into the DAW to mix out the final track. So that is all going to be happening over the next 4 to 6 weeks, and I wanted to document this as part of, or the first announcement, or the first video that may go live at one point at the new YouTube channel and at Home Recording Made Easy, to let people know that that's going to be happening. So this particular workstation that you saw me build about 3 months ago is still going to be here. All the West Audio hardware and such, that's all going to be part of the SSL and the analog workflow. My Focal speakers that you see over my shoulder, and my Avitone speakers, and all my universal audio stuff, that's all going to move over to the SSL. And this is, the computer's going to stay here. I bought a new computer for the SSL DAW, which will be, it's a Mac Mini M1 that I bought, that we're going to set up. So basically, in my studio, because I'm blessed that I have a big enough room to do this, I'm going to have really 2 mixing workstations. The education workstation, which is this station here, which is physically going to move over there, which I'm going to show you in a bit. And then right behind me, where I'm currently sitting, in probably 4 to 6 weeks, will be a brand new SSL console with some racks next to me on the right with some hardware. And we're going to do a lot of content around not only the delivery of an SSL, the installation of an SSL, me learning how to use the console, because I haven't worked on an analog console in many, many years. And so I'm going to be learning it, and we're going to learn it together on camera, how all the hardware is hooked up via patch bays, how all that stuff works. And then set this up in a way with all the mounted cameras and lights so you guys can get an overhead view of the console and watch me do live mixing demonstrations and all of that stuff. And then maybe at one point have some courses around hybrid mixing and advanced mixing and things like that over at mixingmusicanalog.com for folks that are interested. So that is super, super exciting. Some of you know that about a year or two ago, it's probably going on 2 years now, and I've posted some videos on the YouTube channel about it, and I've done a couple of live streams about it in the past, where some of you know that I actually looked at an analog console at one point. I actually went and looked at one, sat in front of one, ran some music through it, actually brought those audio files back here and compared it to plugins. You guys probably saw that video. It was highly controversial. A lot of people watched that video where in that particular example, there wasn't a real big sonic difference between plugins and the console. Different video for a different time. But the console that I was looking at back then was more of a recording console. It was a recording console where mixing was kind of an afterthought. Whereas this particular console, the SSL, is really a mixing console first and foremost. Even though it has 32 SSL preamps, it is a recording console, full-fledged recording console, but it has all of the appointments that you would expect to really to bring a full mix out and to mix and to work it with a DAW. The other console I was looking at really wasn't that at the time, and also that particular console was about $30,000 more. And the SSL Origin wasn't even out yet. The SSL Origin is a much more affordable console, even though it's pretty expensive, I will admit. And it's really built for what I do. And what I do mostly outside of education is I'm a mixing engineer. I was a recording engineer. I had to have a recording studio. I used to have artists and bands in my studio at one time, and stopped that a few years ago because I really enjoy and focus more on mixing. And that's what the SSL is really for. It's really for mixing. Turn that back on there. So when I looked at that first console, a couple of problems there. One, it wasn't the right console at the right time. Two, it wasn't being purchased from Sweetwater, it was being purchased from somebody else, and the company was really not my cup of tea, and I'll just leave it at that. I don't need to mention the company's name. And the console was far more expensive, and at that time, it just didn't make sense for what I wanted to do. Also at that time, I was under the impression that I can do a lot of this stuff in the home recording made easy ecosystem, and a lot of people would gravitate towards it, which, as I said earlier, is just not the case, which is totally fine. Since that time, I've been thinking about a console again more and more. Kept looking around for the right console, if one would come along, or maybe one would be developed where it really would make sense for what I want to do, and then also be at a price point that was, you know, for a mixing console reasonable. And then came along the SSL Origin. And the SSL Origin is a brand new console by SSL, as I said. It's really made for mixing. Sweetwater carries the SSL, which made me feel really great because I feel, obviously, you all know I'm a huge supporter of Sweetwater. I'm an affiliate of Sweetwater, and I feel way more comfortable spending that kind of money at Sweetwater, knowing that the support staff is there, the warranties are there, and if I ever have an issue or anything I need, I can get service very, very quickly. That wasn't the case with the other console that I looked at because it wasn't through Sweetwater. And for folks that are maybe thinking or wondering, oh, did Sweetwater give Dave an SSL console because he's an affiliate? Absolutely not. This video and all the videos coming up around the SSL, none of those videos are being sponsored by Sweetwater. Sweetwater did not give me an SSL console. Boy, I wish they would, but no, they did not. I paid for it. I had to finance it through a financing company, just like anybody else would. Sweetwater has been good enough to help give me some discounted pricing on some of the supporting equipment. For example, in order to bring 32 channels of audio out of your DAW into a 32 channel analog mixing console, you have to have I/O converters that have 32 in, 32 out, which I don't have. So along with the console, I had to purchase 2 Apollo 16Xs, which are exactly that. It'll be 16 and 16, 32 in, 32 out. Again, I paid for those. They weren't given to me by Sweetwater, but I did get a discount for, I did get a discount on those, which is really, really great. I really appreciate that from Sweetwater. And then a couple other accessories, cabling and certain cables and things I was gonna need to hook up the Apollos to the new SSL. That stuff was supplied by Sweetwater as well. Again, not for free. I had to pay for it, but I got a discount on that stuff. But so I want to mention that, and I want to thank Sweetwater. Obviously, they're fantastic to work with, but I want people to really understand that no, Dave didn't just get a free a free SSL shipped to me. Boy, I wish I did. One thing I noticed about, speaking of the console itself, one thing that I noticed is that when I was doing some research on YouTube about the SSL Origin, there's really no videos at all on YouTube. There's a couple of ones from Sweetwater at the AES show and a couple other channels at one of the trade shows when it was first introduced, but there's really no videos on it. There's no one showing how to use it. There's no one showing how it's kind of laid out. And I think there's a real big gaping hole there that I might be able to fill. And who knows, maybe that'll turn into something. Maybe I'll have maybe able to partner up with SSL and share some videos with them that might be helpful to people that might be in the market for a mixing console. Because this mixing console, as far as consoles go, is very reasonably priced. It's not, the average person is not going to buy an SSL. I totally understand that. But for someone like me who was looking at some, and some of those were just too far out of reach, this one was a lot more in reach. And so I want to be able to provide content, not only because the content's going to help me learn it, and as I'm creating videos for you guys, I'm going to get more familiar with it and how to work efficiently on it, but maybe it'll help somebody else, because I couldn't find any information on it. There's almost none as far as videos go. There's some write-ups and some reviews on it, and it is fairly new. It's only been around since 2020, so it's only been around about a year or so. But lots of them are being sold, from what I'm told. They're shipping faster than they can make them, and no one's creating any content. So I want to be able to fill that void, and I hope you come on the journey with me. So when and if you guys ever see this video, there'll be links in the description box if you want to go check out that kind of stuff and join me on the journey of setting up and using a real analog workflow, and what that is and how it works and how it's all set up. I'm really, really excited about doing it. And again, I really appreciate everyone that does come over and check it out. And for the folks that don't really want to check it out, that's not for me, Dave. I want to stick with the home recording made easy stuff. Hey man, that's great. And I really appreciate it. And again, like I said, that stuff's not going to go away. We're still going to do live streams. We're still going to do everything. The only thing that's physically going to happen is this is going to physically move to a new location in another part of the studio. And this is where the SSL is going to sit. And what I'm going to do at the end of this video is I'm just going to grab my iPhone and kind of just walk around and show you where everything's going to kind of go. Again, the SSL's not here yet. By the time you see this video, the SSL will be here, and I'm going to document that whole process. And so it's exciting times here at Home Recording Made Easy. It really, truly is. It's something that I never would have thought 5 or 6 years ago when I started homerecordingmadeeasy.com that I would be in a place now where we'd have all the followers that I have, all the courses that I have developed, all the students that I have, and now in a position where we could branch out and spread our wings a little bit and move into some other stuff. So there really will be something for everybody, from the absolute beginner through the early intermediate at Home Recording Made Easy, and then for the more advanced intermediate into advanced, shifting over to mixing music analog, where you can kind of graduate through the whole process if that's something that you're interested in. It's something I've been wanting to do for a while, and I think this is the best approach, and then it keeps kind of the brands a little bit separated, and it lets the audience know where the content that they're interested in will be. And it's something that I'm really fortunate, excited about, a little nervous about. This is a large purchase for me, the largest amount of money I've ever spent in my studio or for my business. But again, this is a business. And sometimes too, I also noticed that Home Recording Made Easy in the YouTube videos and such, and some of the comments, and I know this is a long-winded video, but stay with me. We don't really do these kinds of videos here ever, so I appreciate you listening. It's kind of a therapy session for me as well, as I'm making this big step. But some of the times too, people, and understandably, I guess so, you know, even when they saw me do the unboxing of the hardware and stuff, you know, people would say things like, you know, I can't believe you're able to, you could spend all this money, and I can't believe your wife lets you spend all this money, and those kinds of comments where, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again, you know, home recording made easy started out as a hobby. It's a full-time business and has been now for several years. Everything that I do here, everything that I purchase, everything that I do is done with the business hat on. So this whole purchase of an SSL, although it's cool, right? I'm not purchasing an SSL just to have a big toy down here to play with because Dave wants another cool toy. This is a business expense. This is something that is going to enable me to grow my business. And sometimes, even when it's a little scary, and I talk to students about this because I do a lot of business coaching on the side, which is another thing I'm going to bring over to Mixing Music Analog. I do lots of coaching with students privately on Skype and Zoom that are, you know, started off where they're just mixing and recording for a hobby, and now they're getting clients and people are willing to pay them for their services. You know, how you shift that mindset from just going out buying a bunch of cool gear to how you make smart business purchases and the whole business end of it, which again, I know is not for this audience. I've tried. You guys aren't interested in that stuff. That's okay. There'll be a spot for that over at Mixing Music Analog. But sometimes when you want to grow a brand or you want to expand, you have to take a risk, and you sometimes have to put your money where your wallet is. I say it all the time, investing in your craft. You've heard me say that on my podcast episodes. I was talking more about, you know, training courses, and that, you know, not everything in the world is free. And if you want to get better at what you do, you have to be willing to invest in yourself, invest in your craft, and in my case, invest in my business. And this was the next logical step. Is it scary? Sure it is. It's an expensive endeavor. It's not cheap. It's not something that I just whipped money out of my pocket and paid for everything. This is something I have to finance like a car for the next 4 or 5 years to pay for. But I also realized that if I want to continue to grow and stay personally even interested in engineering and working in my studio every day of the week, that I need to grow and expand to be able to do different things and not just sit here and show very basic kind of concepts and techniques. I can't do that for the next 10 years of my life. I need to expand and grow. That keeps me interested. It makes me better at what I do. It makes me a better educator and an instructor, so I can teach you and help you guys along. And so sometimes, like I say, you have to invest in your craft, and oh boy, I just invested in my craft, that's for sure. But it is something that's, you know, part of business, and it's things you have to think about, and it's something you have to take time to think about. It's not a decision I made hastily. Like I said, I've been looking and thinking about an analog console now for 2 years. Almost bought one, as we talked about. I've been bringing in hardware to really move towards a more hybrid setup. And so this is something that's been kind of a slow kind of a build here. And now we're at the point where we finally just pull the trigger and say, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get it done, because you never know. Life is an unpredictable thing. If we've learned anything in 2020 with a worldwide pandemic, it's that nothing is guaranteed. And sometimes you gotta be willing to jump into the deep end of the pool and swim, because we don't know if there's ever gonna be another day, right? And so, without getting too philosophical here, but that's part of this process as well, certainly. If I'm gonna do this, when am I gonna do it? I've been procrastinating for 2 years over it, but back then it was the wrong console, wrong company, wrong time. Now it's the right company for sure with Sweetwater, the right product, the SSL console for what I want to do, and the timing I feel is right to test the waters and to move on. So that's kind of the changes in the story here that's going on at Home Recording Made Easy. I hope this wasn't way too long-winded, and let me know below when you see this video. You know, wish me luck in the comments, wish us luck, come along for the journey. Let me know if you have any other questions about this stuff, because I'd be glad to do a follow-up video if you do. And I really do appreciate all of your support, and I hope to see some of you at the very least over at the new YouTube channel. But again, this one's not going away, so I'm not going anywhere. I'm still gonna be here for you, I promise you that. We're just gonna be working more hours, and I'm gonna be doing more things, and I hope you're excited for me, and I hope you come join me, and I'd love to take you on this journey with me and hopefully educate you as well as educate myself. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab the iPhone here, and I'm just gonna walk around and kind of show you, you know, you'll see this, where this is, and kind of show you where this is moving to, where the SSL is going to go and kind of point some things out. And then as the deliveries of equipment come in and such, I'll start piecing together all these videos, and who knows, this may be a little, analog studio setup documentary when it's all done. I don't know what's going to happen, but I figured this was a good opportunity for me to get on camera and talk to you guys, because once things start physically moving, you kind of lose the moment. And I want to at least document this as video one, the beginning, the journey, the story, the what, the when, the why, and then you'll see as things start to come together. So let's grab the iPhone, let's walk around the studio a little bit, and I'll show you kind of what's in my head. Okay, so here is our current work setup, station setup here, which you guys have seen before if you saw the video where I set this desk up, where I got the uplift desk here, the stand desk, and we ordered up this custom rack where I have all my hardware located with my focals, my iMac, all my live stream and content creation stuff for the YouTube channel, right? And my monitor controller, all of this, okay? So here is where the SSL is gonna go. It's the only space really for it. Now the SSL Origin, honestly, is the same exact length as this desk. It's 72 inches. So the SSL doesn't take any more room up lengthwise. It's deeper, meaning that this tabletop is only 30 inches deep, and it's sitting about 1.5 feet off the wall, maybe 2 feet off the wall. The Origin, the SSL, is 43 inches deep, so it'll probably come out a little bit further here, another foot or so off the wall, but width-wise it's the same. But because I have all the acoustic treatment and everything else, it's just the perfect place for it. And I have about a 25-foot deep room, so the SSL is going to sit right there, okay? To the right side of the SSL, there will be probably right where this floor mat is, where when I'm standing up, that's what I use. Right around here, there'll be 2 racks. Not sure how big yet. I'm still looking through that and trying to figure that out, where all the hardware is going to be. So there'll be 2 racks of hardware for all the outboard gear. All the West Audio stuff will be there. All my new Apollos that are coming in will be there. All that stuff will be in 2 racks here, right next to the SSL, which is pretty typical of what you see. And I'll be using the focals and the Avitones on my SSL with my sub. Those speakers are coming along with the SSL. And I'll replace these, which is the cheap pair of speakers, for this education workstation, as I call it, because this is where I do all the stuff pretty much on headphones, all the videos, all the content, the live streaming and all of that. I'm typically wearing headphones where I don't really need a set of high-end speakers. This rack will still stay there, although it will be empty, and I'm sure I'll fill it with some other stuff that's handy. And so the iMac will stay here. I bought a Mac Mini M1 for the SSL. The iMac here is going to stay here, and that's what I'm going to use So what I currently use and what I'm going to continue to use. So where this workstation is going to go physically is it's going to be disconnected, and it is going to move right over here. And so this little spot that I carved out here, that lamp is going to move. These guitars on the wall are going to move. Some of you saw a bunch of guitars hanging here in one of my last YouTube videos where I did some unboxing. I had a bunch of Eddie Van Halen Wolfgang guitars. All those have been put in cases and put away for now. And this, from this wall to this wall, the little jog here, is about 75 inches. So the desk is just going to kind of fit perfectly right in this little cubby. And this is all acoustic treatment. So I'm probably going to put a little acoustic treatment on this wall here now that it's bare. But again, I really don't need to worry about first reflections and those things because it's all done in headphones. It's not going to affect anything that's happening on the SSL. But as I walk in here, because of this wall here and some of the ceiling, it's a little echoey. So I have some more of this acoustic treatment I will put here just to fill it up and cut it down. But the desk is going to fit right in that space. If I step back here, you'll see it'll fit right in there perfectly, absolutely perfect, and it won't protrude out into the room very much. And if I turn around here, you'll see in relationship to where the SSL is going to be. Here's where the desk is going to be on a side view, and the SSL is going to be right over there. Right over there. That little bass amp will go away. It'll be right there. So if I have my education, as I'm calling it, this education station, which is what it's going to be kind of called, is going to be right tucked away in here. Out of the way, nice and neat, perfect size, fills a void here in the room. And then the SSL will go right there with the cabinetry for the hardware next to it. This, my Roland V drum kit will be moved. I'm not sure where that's gonna go. I'm gonna keep it set up probably down in this end of the room more. It's a bunch of junk over there. But I have a lot of space in here, so I gotta reconfigure things a little bit. But this stuff will go away because the seated position for the SSL will probably be something like this, would be my guess. Because that's probably where the chair would be, because the SSL, like I said, is longer, it's deeper than this workstation. So I'm thinking that the seated position would probably be somewhere like this, or maybe even a little in more, kind of like that maybe. So the drum kit is sitting right behind it, and it's kind of in the way, although it will work, but I will move that out of the way. I will find the spot down in the other end of the room for it, hopefully, because I still like to play my drums, and so I'll definitely have that. It was just here temporarily anyway. So that's gonna be kind of the lay of the land. So we're gonna put the SSL there, we're gonna put the hardware there, we're gonna put the home recording made easy, this uplift desk and everything, almost everything that comes with it, right over here in the corner. That lamp will go away because it'll be behind the desk. I won't need it. I have some track lighting up there, and I'll probably do something else for lighting. I'm not really too worried about it. Maybe I'll put a small little lamp where the current speakers are, because all those speakers, the focals, the Avitones, the universal audio, satellite, all that is going away. That's all going to stay with the SSL. So I'll have some room up here that I could put a little lamp. And I'm just going to get a cheap pair of speakers. I'm thinking about getting like the IK Multimedia iLouds. I just need something to just monitor something quickly through. All of what I do here, 90% of what I do here is all in headphones for the videos. The only time I'm not using headphones is when I'm mixing for clients. And that's all going to be done on the SSL. So I'm gonna keep my main monitoring system here with the SSL because I'm used to it. The only difference is this RAM 2000, this monitor controller, I won't need with the SSL because I'm going to use the monitoring section of the desk. So this will come with me over to the new, over to this workstation as well. Overkill for it, but at least I'll have a way to hook up a couple of pair of speakers. So that is it. So I hope that makes sense. The next part of the video, or if it's not in this video, the next video will be, you'll see the actual delivery, hopefully, of the SSL. It's going to be crated up, and I'm going to show you a video from the time it comes out of the crate to the time it gets moved into this studio, set up, and then we are going to go on a journey together. And I hope you all come along with me. And also continue to support homerecordingmadeeasy.com, because that's really what this whole thing started. Without Home Recording Made Easy, and without all of you guys and gals from Home Recording Made Easy, all the support, there would be no way that I would be in a position 6 years after I started to be buying an SSL console and turning this into an analog studio. But it's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope you come along with me. Once again, all the links will be in the description box below. Head on over to Mixing Music Analog and subscribe there if you would. Support me over there. I really do appreciate that in advance. And also go to mixingmusicanalog.com if you want to learn a little more about what that whole new process is going to be about. Thanks, guys. I will see you guys soon. Okay, guys, here is another part of this new transformation in the studio. Last video, I think we left off where you saw the workstation in its old spot. I talked to you about what we're doing with an SSL console, and now it's been moved over to this little cubby that we talked about. And where the SSL is going to go is right there. Right now, got a new carpet that came in. It's actually, they shipped me the wrong one. It's actually smaller than it was supposed to be. I got to figure that out. But anyway, it looks nice. So the SSL will sit on this, and right now what I'm doing, again, we're about T-minus 4 weeks, 5 weeks before the console gets here, but I got my new Mac Mini here, and I'm just setting it up on an LG television that I wasn't using. I'm hoping that this will work. When I get the Mac Mini set up, I'm going to try to use this as the screen that sits above the SSL for the DAW. I don't know how it'll look. It'll look pixelated or whatever, but this is just a 43-inch flat screen. It may not work, and if it doesn't, I'll get a display monitor. I'll see. But for now, I'm just sitting over here in my little makeshift workstation, just going to get everything set up. Just plugged in the new Mac Mini. This is the new M1 with 16 gigs of RAM and a 2 terabyte hard drive. This will be solely for the SSL DAWs. It won't have a ton of stuff loaded on there, so it should be plenty speedy and also plenty big. And I'll probably get like a SSD drive as an external drive to host all the different sessions and whatnot. But anyway, so here's where the SSL is going to go, and I'm just putting some weights on the end of the carpet to lay it flat. It came all coiled up, and this is where we put the workstation, as I said in the last video. So as I said, it fit perfectly in this little cubby over here. I didn't push it all the way back against the wall because if I need to get behind it for some reason, I can just squeeze myself back there and around the back if I need to, although there's going to be little time that I'll need to. For now, I put my focals back up here. As I mentioned in the last video, these are going to go over to the new area with the SSL. But again, I won't have it for 4 to 5 weeks, so I just threw the focals back up so I had something to listen to. The sub is not hooked up. The Avatones are all out in storage in the back. I pulled out one of the X6s, the Apollos, because that's going to be sold because I don't need it now that I have the 32 in, 32 out with the Apollo 16s coming for the SSL. This is all I need for this. All the West Audio hardware has been pulled out and put in storage. So this actually worked out perfectly. I can still use my sit-stand desk here when I need to, and as you'll see, it really doesn't protrude into the room all that much. And the SSL is going to be over there, and so it's not going to be bad. Again, I could push this in even a little further if I wanted to. I'll get some acoustic treatment on that wall there. Again, all of my stuff that I'm going to be doing over here is all done in headphones anyway. All the real mixing is going to be done over here once the SSL shows up, but I'll put some acoustic treatment there anyway. I have some laying around. Some of the burgundy bass traps and stuff, I could put those there. And so that's it. So I was able to get a guitar back on the wall, another guitar back on the wall, but all of these that were hanging, I probably could put them back, but then if I stand the desk up, it may hit the guitars. So I may have to leave the Wolfgangs in their cases for now. But anyway, I just figured I'd show you that. It's a way to document this. And the next video you'll probably see, or maybe you'll see something else, I don't know. But the next video you'll probably see will be when we're bringing in the SSL in a few weeks. But there it is. So it kind of fit perfectly in that little cubby, which worked out good. And again, the SSL will be over here. All right, cool. So we'll see you guys in the next update.